Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Concerned Citizen, where my name is Matthew, and today we're going to talk about just some posts that I've seen online, and I just really think about empathy is, my main concern right now, because I saw some people posting online, about right now people are shopping for back to school, and they have to get all these school supplies, and one of the biggest concerns from parents is just the additional expense of getting school supplies. And some schools are even asking for Kindles and other things or laptops because everything's gone really digital. And I saw some people complaining. They said, if you're buying, let's say, a $175 manicure, then you shouldn't be taking free school supplies. I'm not buying this for your kids. And I find that, to tell you the truth and to be honest, I don't find that the best kind of point of view because, one, who are we to tell? We don't know that person's situation, right? That we're assuming, hey, you're spending $175 every, 3 months, or maybe this is just a one-time thing, a year that you do for yourself. But also, it's somebody else's money, right? If they're taking the free things, I think it's really about the kids, getting assistance and school supplies to the kids. We don't know why the parent is, doing that. But of course, at the same time, people can indulge a little bit of luxury. Obviously, you don't want to choose that over your food for yourself. But, if you're only budgeting and able to use your money just for the bare minimums, yeah, those people have more to kind of complain and be concerned about when they're talking about the economy. So I always find it interesting that when I look at the individuals who are posting these comments, they're people that I know in my life, that I've interacted with personally, and they are individuals who've always complained about money and finances. And I'm not saying, hey, you know what? I understand. It's a struggle, and it always has been a struggle, right? But also there are individuals who, in themselves, take advantage of certain things, don't have the greatest work ethic. I remember one person that I'm speaking with, told me, hey, when I'm working from home, and they worked at a different company, and that was many years ago before even the pandemic. They're like, when I'm working from home, I actually say I did the calls, but I really don't. And I was like, how long have you been doing that for? And they were like, about 6 months. And I was like, what about all these people that need to be contacted? And she was like, not my problem. And then she was caught, and they, reprimanded and said, hey, we're going to terminate you because of this. And she was really pissed off and posting on social media, how the unfair treatment, meanwhile complaining about people who are mooching off the system and everything. But, to each your own. You made that decision for your job, but, just think before you judge other people. And when you donate something, I'm donating to really give for individuals who feel that they need it. And it's not my place when I know I'm donating that to judge of oh, you should not get this. During one of the holidays, I donated to gifts to a family, right? And they registered that they needed assistance for, and you go and drop off the gifts to the family, and for some people they were like, hey, they weren't very grateful for these gifts that we gave. Well, let's go back. Being empathetic, they have strangers in their home. They shouldn't be made to feel like, they should be groveling or, saying thank you to us and bowing down to us. We also don't know exactly the situation as well, as far as, mental health, or it's a very uncomfortable situation, I imagine, for them. It's awkward. People are coming in their homes. Yes, you're dropping off gifts. The kids are not there. They're playing outside, but they know what's happening. And, I just think that before we kind of judge for everyone who is seeking assistance before assuming that, they're trying to mooch off the system. Because that's the other post I've seen, is people saying, hey, everybody, I hope you're working hard and doing your, 9 to 5. Meanwhile, 17 million people are mooching off of our hard work. I don't think these people have been in a situation where they unfortunately have a medical issue which takes them out of work, and not that they want to be in that situation. My father, worked really hard and paid into the system just like anybody else, got cancer, transplant, heart attack, lots of things, medical things, right? Took him out of work. He needed to go on disability for a while. For lots of people, they're going to be like, hey, you're mooching off of other people who are working hard. But he paid into that. I don't mind my money going to help people, who are in need. Yes, are there individuals that take advantage of the system? I'm not denying that. But when you look at states that have implemented, let's say, drug tests and these other things, it shows that the data is indicating that you're actually spending more money than it is actually getting results, because there is not that much people that they're finding actually are truly mooching off the system, and you're actually spending more money to try to find these people than you would otherwise. I think that the solution to this is trying to talk about the barriers that people have in order to reach the level of money that they need in order to survive, or success that they need. Buying a home, which I'm trying to do, it's ridiculous. You need this down payment, and then you're like, everything's increasing. How many people are using their credit cards? And then the ridiculous interest rates. I just got a letter in the mail that said, hey, we're increasing your interest rate to 35%. What? That's crazy. I was shocked when my interest rate was 29%, even before the pandemic. So I was like, wow, that's really high. So that's like a quarter. So if I spend $100, 25% of that is $25. 29% of that is $29. That's how much I'm having to pay in interest. Crazy. But, all these things, and they expect us to be able to get ahead. The American people, and just in general, just looking between, people who are billionaires, companies who are doing very well, and the American people. Because it always comes down to people saying, hey, you need to budget. And by the way, we're going to increase taxes. Hey, by the way, we're going to do this. By the way, your grocery prices are going to be more. By the way, companies are making more than they ever did before, and we're getting record revenue. But you need to budget. Excuse me? Telling the American people that they need to budget. And this is why my biggest concern about making these judgments and, having more empathy is that we are quick to judge our fellow individuals who are in these situations instead of the people at the top who are making things more difficult for us. We blame, hey, the high prices of things because, let's say, oh, look, all the people who are stealing. And believe me, I know stealing is a problem. And I think there's people who are taking definitely advantage of these situations. And that's the other thing. You always want to keep an eye out for bad actors. I think there's always causes that start out noble, and then you have these vultures, these bad actors that come around and start mooching off of the programs and things that you're trying to do. And unfortunately, that's true with any kind of advocacy group that happens. There's always going to be somebody in the mix that is a bad actor. So, doesn't mean that I think that we should stop doing this and stop helping people. You just have to be mindful that, yes, these things happen. And yes, we would like to find a way to stop it. But before we go out and kind of make wide assumptions about a group of people and large claims just about a group of people, I think we need to have more empathy. That's my concern. You know? I mean, a good situation of an example like that is I had a friend, had an amputation, right? Fake leg, was in the elevator. Woman says, hey, you're only taking the elevator to the next floor. You know, you're really wasting our time who need to be back on lunch on time, and I'm on the 6th floor. And then my friend said to them, I have a fake leg. And that woman shut up. And I was like, this is the kind of thing that you gotta think about. You know, you don't know anyone else's situation. So before you judge, just internally try to take it in and say, you know what, I'm not going to say anything. When people cut me off, I'm sorry, my nose is itchy. When I'm driving, I have this thing where I go, you know what, they probably have diarrhea. They're rushing home. You know, they don't want to shit in their car. I wouldn't want to shit in my car. So that's how I get past, like, you know, somebody just recklessly driving past me. I was like, oh, look at that license plate B67, you know, whatever. They have diarrhea. You know, it just keeps me like, why am I going to get angry? You know? So I have a few people in my life, really angry drivers, and always like yelling at people, you know, other people are terrible drivers. And I was like, why are we making ourselves so angry? They have diarrhea. Just leave it alone. You know, maybe there's a medical emergency, you know? You don't know. So, yes, would I want them to drive more responsibly? I would. But I almost crapped myself one time. Geez, I'm going to TMI, right? I remember I was at work, and this is right when I was discovering I was lactose intolerant. Terrible way to find out, right? And I was like, they put milk in my drink, and I asked for no milk. And I started driving, and every red light felt longer than the previous one. And then I go into my, you know, apartment, and then the dog's there, and I go to the bathroom, and the dog's looking at me, and I'm like, don't look at me. It's terrible. Almost like, yeah, bread was made, but I wasn't going in a sink. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to apply this as I sat in the toilet. There could be someone else with diarrhea trying to get to home because they don't want to poop in their car. Right? So that's my short little kind of thing here. Hope you're all doing well. Hopefully you don't get diarrhea and don't have to drive recklessly trying to get home to take crap. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Thank you. Bye.